Okay, hello again. We're going to discuss self-management, which is basically what this class is about. This is your project. This is basically what you're working for. So a little bit of self-management here. What is it? It's when a person applies behavioral change or behavior change strategies in a way that promotes a predetermined change in their behavior. In other words, I pick something and I start working toward that through a process. So, is it a humongous thing? It can be, but it can also be very small stuff. It can also involve complex things, plans, and actions. It depends on what it is you're trying to change. Self-management assumes that you are influenced by your environment, but you yourself can change your environment, which in turn changes the behavior that you're concerned about. So self-management, the biggie for this class, this is your 7-week project. It's what you're working. It's what you'll be working with. What's the purpose of this? There are 4 different ways that self-management can be used. You can utilize it to improve your quality of life. Pick something. I'm not going to name them for you. There's something in your life that you would probably like to change. Everybody has things in their life they'd like to change. And you can use self-management within reason to change some of that. You can use it to stop bad habits and start good habits. That's probably more frequently what's being considered than anything else. So that's number 2 of the 4. Number 3, you can use it to complete challenging activities. Personal example, I don't really always want to use these, but this will help you. When I was working on my master's degree and my PhD, we had a paper due each semester, a 30-page paper due each semester. And I was the world's best procrastinator. These things had to be turned in at the end of the week, at the end of the semester. And I would wait till the last weekend. Historically, I would begin my research early, but I wouldn't really begin the paper organization until the last moment. Then I'd spend sometimes all day Friday or all day Saturday writing a 30-page paper. Not the easiest thing in the world to do. Stupid on my part. So I should have managed that procrastination. I should have done a self-management program to rid myself of that procrastination. And then number 4, you can use it to achieve various goals. They can be high goals like getting a PhD so that I can teach college, or something different, something in your life that's important to you. There's some benefits to self-management, and they're pretty obvious. You don't have to have another person to be involved all the time to help you make positive changes. But I will caution you, sometimes it's almost an absolute. Sometimes somebody has to hold you to what you're doing. In some cases, I would have needed, for instance, a coach to help me with procrastination. I just piddled around. Studied, yes, read a lot, did the research necessary for a doctorate, but there were times when I could have been working and I'm on a motorcycle, or whatever the case is. Some relaxation. You do need relaxation, by the way. You can't go about this 24/7. It'll burn you out. So I'm trying to change a behavior. What would happen to you if you didn't take a deep breath occasionally is that you would get so frustrated that you would just toss this in the trash can and you wouldn't pursue it any longer. So be cautious about that. Generalization and maintenance can be more easily achieved if you're working by yourself. Again, don't rule out getting help, but don't rely on that help. Rely on you, because you're the one that's trying to change. When you learn the techniques of self-management, you can generalize that, and you can apply these principles to a variety of behaviors. So if I'm trying to quit smoking, I don't smoke, but let's say I did. I'm trying to quit smoking. So I learned the techniques necessary, cutting back, and you'll be going through this as you do your little template. These things that I learned are applicable to more than just quitting smoking. I can apply the same thing to an exercise routine, or I don't want to say as many ugly words as I'm normally known to say. Again, doesn't apply to me within reason. So whatever it is that you're involved with doesn't necessarily mean these techniques only work for that. I want to mow the grass more frequently, right? I mean, it can apply to anything. Self-management is a common expectation in everyday life. So it's particularly applicable to you right now because it does work very well in educational settings, but it also works in your home and in the workplace. So your application right now most likely would have to do with something related to your schooling, but it could apply if you're in your dorm room. It could apply if you're working here part-time or whatever you're doing. So again, don't zero this thing in on just what you're concerned with. Self-management can work everywhere. And then it allows you to have more control over your life. Rather than have somebody else telling you what to do, you tell you what to do. You become the manager. So you rely on you. Again, go back to the first thing I said. It's okay to have a helper. Just don't make that helper be the focus of your behavior change. It's not self-management anymore if you do that, right? Look at the word self-management. So how do I do this? Well, here's your template in a few words. Specify a goal and define the behavior to be changed. That's common sense. I can't do anything if I don't have a goal in mind. I can't do anything if I don't have a behavior in mind that I want to change. So I have to have something to work toward. Next thing you want to do, number 2, is begin to self-monitor the behavior. Okay, whoops, I did this again. So let's begin to kind of keep a list of the particulars of why I've done this behavior again that I'm trying to change. Keep you a little journal as part of your template. Create contingencies that will compete with natural contingencies. In other words, what do I do on a normal basis that causes me to act out this behavior? Let me change something. Move out of your comfort zone. Probably the most difficult part of it is to create these zones for ourselves. Sometimes they're enforced and be no. So people ask me when I was a police officer, why do these people do this knowing they're breaking the law? Because it's normal for them. Although they know they're breaking the law, it's normal for them to do it. And that's their comfort. So change the comfort zone. Go against the comfort zone if it's causing you difficulties. That would mean you got a behavior problem that you need to change. That's why you got involved in this. Get a self-management partner if desired. Again, it goes back to what I was saying before. It's okay to have somebody to lean on a wee bit. Sometimes some of these behaviors are hard to change. So it's okay if you need a helping hand rather. But don't let that become the person changing you. You change you. And then finally, continually evaluate and redesign the program as needed. You will make a lot of revisions. You're going to have to readdress your plan over and over as you go through it because things are going to change for you. Maybe you don't need to concentrate as hard on something that you thought you did, or maybe you need to concentrate more on it. Things come out of the woodwork. You go, oh, wow, I didn't know I was going to have to deal with that, so you have to incorporate that into your plan. Alrighty, so that's it for this one, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care.